Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our webinar, A Guide to Cyber and Electronic Warfare. I'm Khaled, and I will be your host for the day. Our speaker for this session, Dr. Kamruddin Abdul Ghani, Associate Professor, National Defense University of Malaysia. Please note, the session will be in listen-only mode and will last for about 40 minutes, out of which the last 10 minutes will be dedicated for Q&A. Requesting all the participants to post your questions in the Q&A window. Should you need any assistance during the session, please use the chat box. Also, we do have two criteria for certification. First, participants need to attend the complete webinar, fill in the survey and the right answer to the 3 questions based on the webinar, which will be sent to you post the webinar. About our speaker, Dr. Kamruddin Abdul Ghani is a retired major with years of experience in electronic warfare, where his work focused on communications and signal intelligence. After he left the military service, he worked as RF and R&D engineer. He earned his PhD in electrical and electronic engineering in 2017. He is a professional engineer with vast experience in RF communications. Currently, he is an associate professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering, National Defense University of Malaysia, with research interest in electronic intelligence and radar signal analysis. Most of his research work is related to RF communications and signal intelligence. He served as the head of department and research fellow at the Cybersecurity Center, NDUM, for 7 years and developed laboratories and a command and control system for teaching and research in electronic warfare and cyber-related operations. I would now like to hand over the session to you. Over to you, Dr. Ghani.
Thank you, Khaled. Hello and good day. I'm going to talk about a guide to cyber and electronic warfare. Specifically focuses on the similarity between electronic warfare and cyber warfare, which will lead to the possibility of joint operations. I'll start the talk with some basic definitions, followed by interrelatedness between cyber and electronic warfare. Next, I will talk a bit about a wireless domain, cyber elements in electronic warfare, before move on to the similarities of both units. Then I'll talk about the need for sharing of resources and the feasibility to have one common command and control system for cyber and electronic warfare. In a military organization, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units are traditionally considered as separate entities. Let's start with some definitions so that we are talking in the same frequency. By definition, the goal of electronic warfare is to get in control of the electromagnetic spectrum. The main purpose is to deny the opponent the advantage of and ensure friendly unimpeded access to the electromagnetic spectrum. Cyber warfare is the use of digital attacks, where digital refer to digital electronic, digital transmission, and digital communication. It focused on the use of computer technology to disrupt the activities of a state or organization. Basically, it involves crippling adversaries through information systems and the internet. Network and internet also use the same medium, that is electromagnetic spectrum. So we can see that both cyber and electronic warfare are efforts to dominate aspects of the electromagnetic spectrum. There are 3 main subsets in electronic warfare. First is the electronic support, which supplies necessary intelligence and threat recognition to allow effective attack and protection. It allows commanders to search for, identify, and locate sources of intentional and unintentional electromagnetic energy. Among the activities includes collecting enemies' communication. This includes both message content and traffic data about which units are communicating, and recognizing hostile radars and other non-communicating sources of electromagnetic energy. Second is the electronic attack. Deception is central to electronic attack. The goal is to mislead the enemy by manipulating his perceptions in order to degrade the accuracy of his intelligence and target acquisition. Some enemy sensors and communication links may be neutralized by jamming activities and disrupting enemy equipment using high power microwave. And last but not least is the electronic protect. Electronic protect, which ranges from maintaining communication security, cryptography, and designing systems that are resistant to jamming. It is also part of protection to protect access to electromagnetic spectrum for friendly forces. There exists an interrelationship between electronic warfare and cyber warfare, where they are sharing the same electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum is the main domain for electronic warfare, while cyberspace operation occurs on network systems. However, cyberspace operation may also involve communication and wireless systems. Therefore, interrelationship between these two domains does exist. They are somewhat related in a way. We could say that the electronic warfare is more significant to the military, and cyber operations is more to civil, like businesses or industries. Therefore, by sharing the same spectrum, interrelatedness between these two units does exist. If one of the units is threatened or attacked, it might affect the other one as well. With current technology, the spectrum is also shared with entities that focus on automation of digital machines and interrelated computer devices like IoT and IR 4.0. This interrelatedness affects everyone. Does not matter whether you are a military or a civilian, businessman or industrial players. Both electronic warfare and cyber warfare may have their own ways in handling operational needs and defensive mechanisms. In military communications, it is usually better to respond to jamming by dropping the bit rate rather than by boosting the power. The civil infrastructure also provides some defensive systems, of which government organizations can make use. Today, with the proliferation of wireless communication, more and more wireless technology has emerged, from short-range communication like the near field communication to longer range, like the satellite-based network, from Wi-Fi and cellular networking to Zigbee, machine-to-machine communication. And this has led to an explosion of research into vulnerabilities of radio-based systems. Developing technologies like the Internet of Things are expected to grow with 5G. There's no doubt that better cybersecurity is essential for our 5G future. More bandwidth with added speed and volume will challenge security teams to create new methods for stopping threats. Due to the fact that Zigbee has a simpler technology and less expensive than wireless personal area networks and Wi-Fi, it is widely used in IoT and Industrial Revolution 4.0. Wireless technology too is used for exchanging data between fixed and mobile devices like Bluetooth. Almost everything needs wireless communication, especially high-level communication protocol that is used to create personal area networks with small low-power digital radios. Through wireless domain, the threats that are attacking the cyberspace may also have the same effect on the electronic warfare. Let's look at some example of the similar threats in cyber and electronic warfare. Starting with denial. This is where an interruption in an authorized user's access to a computer network, typically one caused with malicious intent. Next is disrupt, where it will interrupt an event, activity, or processes by causing a disturbance or problem. This will drastically alter or destroy the structure of something, which may create havoc. In deceive, it will deliberately cause someone to believe something that is not true, especially for personal or organizational gain. Degrade is when an incident happens to lower the performance characteristics of a defense or security system. And lastly, destroy. Damage something so badly that it cannot be used, also known as hard kill. All of these threats are common to both electronic warfare and cyberspace operations. When it comes to services denial attack, both electronic warfare and cyber warfare units are indeed vulnerable. They both may experience similar types of threats. Some examples of threats are denial of service. This includes jamming the spectrum, also known as soft kill, in electronic warfare. It can involve mimicry and also could be physical attack. Second is deception. In deception, enemy may create uncertainty and confusion, which may be targeted at automated system or even at people. Third one is exploitation, which include not just eavesdropping, wiretapping, or intercepting. but also obtaining any operationally valuable information from the enemy's use of electronic system. More and more communication systems, especially in signal intelligence, are software-based, also called software-defined radio. This is where components that have been traditionally implemented in hardware, such as mixers, filters, amplifiers, modulators, demodulators, and detectors, are implemented by means of software on a personal computer or embedded system. A basic software-defined radio may consist of a personal computer equipped with analog to digital converter preceded by radio frequency front end. Significant amount of signal processing are handed over to the general purpose processor rather than being done in electronic circuits. Such design produces a radio which can receive and transmit widely different radio protocols based solely on the software used. Presently, software radios have significant utility for the military and cellular phone services, and this make them vulnerable to wide variety of cyber threats. With these software-defined radios and software-defined antennas, they are the enablers of the cognitive radio, where it is a form of wireless communication in which a transceiver can intelligently detect which communication channel are in use and which are not. It is kind of intelligent radio. This optimizes the use of available radio frequency spectrum and minimizes interference to other users. And not only that, transformation of a radar or radio from a receiver to a transmitter can be easily done. With these abilities, more and more communication systems are into cognitive radios. Since they are software-driven devices, they are exposed to malware threats. Similarity of threats has led to the idea of sharing common resources. Sharing common resources between units under the same organization may not be complicated, though there may be some conflicts between the two units involved. With proper management and change of command, sharing of resources may help in shortage of manpower and could eliminate unnecessary redundancies. Furthermore, better results could be achieved in joining efforts, such as in handling crises and incidents where information sharing is maximized. As they say, two is better than one. There is no doubt that joint effort, or we could call it convergence, between these two units does come with challenges. It is normal that conflicting issues are bound to happen between converging units. Issues like territorial conflicts, leadership, and expertise are among them. Typically, in electronic warfare, the main power is having expertise in engineering and communication, while the cyberspace operations are mostly people with IT and security background. The issues of who's in charge, who is responsible, and job scope could be tackled with proper planning and good management. Each unit to focus on a specific domain and working together as a team. A proper chain of command will ensure the smooth management and operational of the command and control system. Successful electronic warfare depends on the using of available tools in a coordinated way. Electronic weapon systems like sensors such as radar, infrared, and sonar, as well as communication links, take sensor data to the command and control center. Conventionally, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units both have their own command and control system. Having this similarity in terms of threats and vulnerabilities, and the wireless system are sharing the same electromagnetic system. Both units may share the same command and control system. This joint command and control system would allow databases and information sharing between the two units. It will also serve as mutual support in handling incidents or counter threat analysis. And information exchange between the two units would be much easier, especially in finding solution or even in decision making. A commander may get relevant inputs from both units pertaining to any threats or vulnerabilities, which in turn may help in making the right decision. With a joint command and control system, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units can complement each other in ensuring the security for the organization based on the system resources available. For example, in security monitoring, electronic warfare may focus on sector monitoring, while cyber warfare concentrates on network monitoring. Available sensors in electronic warfare may assist cyberspace operations on wireless network monitoring. This will enable defensive and offensive operations to be conducted within both domains, electromagnetic and cyberspace. Joint operations within electronic warfare and cyber warfare are feasible by having the same command and control system. It consists not only electronic warfare, but several other cyber-related subsystems to provide inputs for handling incidents or operational planning. By having a common command and control system, both units, electronic warfare and the cyber team, may work together hand in hand. Furthermore, a common command and control system would allow easier information and intelligence sharing, and this would lead to a successful and fruitful operations. The understanding is that electronic warfare may be responsible for wireless related issues and cyber unit on the network system. With this basic understanding, both units may complement each other, whether in a defensive or offensive operations. Thank you. That is the end of my presentation. I would like to thank EC Council University for the opportunity to present in this cyber talk. Again, thank you. I will be around for questions.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an enlightening sessions, and we can say that by the number of questions we are having. So I'll just take up a few. First is by Mr. Piyush, and he asks, what resources can you recommend us for getting to know more about RF in cybersecurity?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What resources can you recommend us for getting to know more about RF in cybersecurity?
Oh, there are a lot of sources you can look at. It's, especially in the internet now. Everything you can find it in the internet. But to be specifically focused on the cyber and electronic warfare, I would suggest that the right information or the suitable information that relate to the cyber and electronic warfare normally refer to the military organization because, like I said in my presentation, electronic warfare is mostly focused for the military, and cyber maybe in the civil side. So anyway, there's a number of information that can be found in the internet or websites that is discussing on the convergence of electronic warfare and cyberspace operation. I'm sure you can find a lot of information there.
Okay, the next question is from Mr. Karan Hendrik. What are some of the challenges of implementing joint all domain command and control? Example in the data fusion. How do example in data fusion? How do organizations like BSEP handle planning cycles that differ between services?
Okay, the challenges that we had last time was that the cyber side, they have their own database, and electronic warfare having their own database. And to merge these two types of databases, that was a challenge because both of them were using the different kind of system. So in order to make it merging, compatibility is a very big issue for us. So I would say that's the biggest challenge. We want to combine uh, sharing of data from cyber and from electronic warfare database.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear us? Dr. Ghani, can you hear us? Just excuse us for a moment here. I think we lost Dr. Ghani's audio. I'll just get back to him. Just give us a few minutes.
yeah, sure.
Sure. Another question which has come from our audience. Here. Thanks for the presentation, Dr. Ghani. How do you see how difficult implementation of EW and CW as the common solutions? What are the primary challenges there are in your opinion?
The challenges that we had last time is because different of expertise, especially in the electronic warfare. Basically, most of the staff or most of the people involved in electronic warfare are from communication background. They need to have a very strong communication, and most of them are having engineering background. And for the cyber, I would say that most of them are from the IT, security, or network system, or computer science department, or something like that. So this is a challenge there because some of that equipment in the cyber are all based on engineering. So I would say that the merging of this command and control would help the cyber guys understanding better of the system, especially the hardware. Because the way I see it, that we can say that electronic warfare, we can assume it's just like the hardware, and the cyber side is more toward the software. So if we combine the hardware and software, it's just like our daily electronic devices. Both need hardware and software to be functional. So that's what I mean by the advantages of this merging of electronic warfare and cyber warfare. Hello.
Yes. The next question. Before we go to the next question, can I just request our audience? The poll is live. Can you just may I just request you to participate in our poll? The next question is from Mr. Karan Hendrik. What implication does this have on job objective and generation? Example, setting up a mission.
Please repeat that question, Shima.
Yes. What implications does this have on job objective generation? Example, setting up mission. This question is followed up by Mr. Karan Hendrick's question on challenges and implementation of all domain command and control.
Oh, okay. Uh, it depends. It depends, because we need to be clear on what is our objective. So there is no specific answer to that question, but a more specific mission need to be defined, yeah? So that we can prepare the right planning for that. This is the question is I think it's a bit general, so I cannot give a very specific answer to that question.
Sure. Another question. Are there any commercial vendors for this type of command and control for CW and EW?
Yes, there are a lot of vendors, a lot of companies or industries that are focusing on establishing command and control system, because basically command and control system not only for electronic warfare or cyber warfare. I think every organization, especially in the uh, in the law enforcement, for example, and number of government agencies are setting up command and control center, because this is the place where all issues are discussed and all the information sharing take place, and where all the decisions are made. So that is why you can see that a lot of lot of numbers of vendors or companies now involving in developing command and control system.
Okay, the next question is from Roni Das. Is there any SIEM and SOC service providers which supports the concept of EW and CW?
Uh, Honestly, I'm not sure about that. Uh, uh, but I'm sure that there is, but honestly, I'm not sure about that. But I would say maybe, yeah.
Okay, the next question. Sir, can you throw some light on SS7, signaling system 7, one vulnerability being used or misused even today?
What's the question again?
Can you throw some light on SS7, signaling system 7, vulnerability being used or misused even today?
Can we throw a light on signal?
Yeah, signaling system 7.
I'm not familiar with this. What do you mean by signal 7? Can
Okay,
you throw a
let's
light
move.
on signal 7?
Sure, we can take this up offline, Mr. Sumesh.
Okay,
Another question is why electronic and cyber warfare is crucial.
it's very crucial nowadays because nowadays the cyber is a very big issue, and cyber is affecting everybody. And cyber now also using wireless system. So when you are using a wireless system, you are using the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the main domain for electronic warfare. You can see that now everybody is using a smartphone, you know. So meaning to say that everybody is interconnected to one another somehow, they interconnected. So this interconnectedness expose them to many kinds of vulnerabilities. They are exposed to the threat. They are exposed to all these attacks, cyber attacks. So that is very crucial nowadays. Cyber and electronic warfare to play an important role so that they can combine, they can join together, so that the sharing of expertise, especially from the electronic warfare, they are from the engineering background, they have this communication expertise, and the cyber, especially they are from the IT security, from the computer science, and from the network expertise. So if we combine these two sides of expertise, you know, I'm sure we can be more resilient in handling cyber attacks.
The next question is thank you for your effort, sir. My question is how can I go deep in one of these tracks? Okay.
How can we go deep in one of the tracks? Okay, if you are civilian, I think it's quite impossible for you to go into the electronic warfare track. So I think it's more likely that you can join the cyber warfare. This cyber basically affect everyone, military and civilians. So if you are a civilian, I think it's suitable for you, to follow the cyber warfare track instead of the electronic warfare.
uh, okay, Mr. Ivan Chan has asked, wouldn't combining EW and CW under one CNC expose the risk of being compromised, thereby losing the control to both EW and CW?
Yes, it may, but there are ways for us to increase the security of that. Uh, as as I mentioned in my presentation just now, it is not that difficult to join the cyber warfare and electronic warfare if both of them are under one roof, if both of them are under one similar organization. So if you are under the same organization, you are under the same roof, I'm sure the issues of security is not that to worry about. Yeah. Mhm.
One more question. I think this is the last question we will take. We are already over the time. Would real time battlefield picture across two domains be enabled by machine learning?
Yes, it's possible. Now everything is done by machine. Everything is controlled by machine because of AI, because of digital technologies. So these two have made all the possibilities of automation. Everything is controlled by machine, and I'm sure, I'm sure, yeah, uh, maybe in near future we can have a command and control system that is fully automated without human intervention. But we still need human because human is the best decision maker compared to machine.
Uh, Thank you so much. Again, I would like to remind our participants about the poll questions. We will be concluding the session soon. I would again like to thank Dr. Ghani. He had such an interesting and enlightening session for all of us and very patiently answering all the questions too. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Team Cyber Talks and EC Council
Thank
University
you.
are glad to have you. For all
Thank
the
you.
participants, please do look up on our website for more upcoming session for the month of January. And thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye bye. You may now disconnect your lines.